Paula Herlock and welcome to my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, now is a great time to subscribe so that you can catch every video as we drop them. Now today we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition. I have not done a nutrition video ever, and I feel it is very important as we as people are struggling with deficiencies with respect to our nutrition. Now, I always say to people, keep it simple. Wherever you live on the planet, try to eat like your grandmother or your great grandmother ate. So if you are on the North Pole and you're an Eskimo and you know it's whale blubber that was eaten to survive and fish, then this is what you can eat. And the temperatures and your kind of activities will support that kind of diet. If you live in the sub-Saharan part of Africa, then you eat what grows there, what's available there. If you live in the tropics, a tropical island, then you eat the fruits and the vegetables that grow there. If you live in North America, then you eat the foods that grow there. Now, I specifically started off with the temperature zones on purpose. Because of globalization, we're having the ability to ship food from all over the world to all over the world. And that, to some degree, is kind of interfering with how we are eating as people. Remember, we are born into a geographical area, and there tends to be food that support that geographical location. So it's best to stick with the foods that grow in the geography that you live in. Remember, the soil that you're living in or were born in have a particular DNA, and the foods of the land that you're born in has a particular DNA. They speak to each other. Okay, remember, food is a code. The body understands food. So when it goes in, the body knows exactly how to break it down, how to break down. The enzymes will know how to break down fats, sugars, the whole 9 yards, right? Now, I always say keep it simple, because the simpler and more natural you eat is the better for your entire system. When we eat processed foods, the body has difficulty breaking it down. The digestion becomes delayed, and then you have a lot of chemical interferences that are not necessary and complicate the digestive system. So if you can stick to fruits, stick to vegetables, lots of water, and you can have cooked foods, right? But stick to stews and hearty stews with lots of lentils and vegetables. That's great. Stews are really, really good for they're very gut soothing. Also, porridges and sweet porridges in the morning are also good. Now, I am not going to reference too much the North American diet, the SAD diet. I'm going to stick more with the diet that you should be focused on. I'm not going to come here and disrespect people's diets. I'm going to propose what you can do to maintain a healthier lifestyle. Now, I start off with fruits because fruits are the cleansers and vegetables are the builders. I hope I have that right. We like to encourage people to have fresh fruits in the morning, and when I say morning, I mean mid-morning, 9-10. The preferred thing is for you to break your fast between 10 and 11 a.m. Most people now are catching on to the whole idea of starting the day with a nice glass of warm water with lime juice or lemon juice in it, just to kickstart the whole digestive process, to wake up the stomach that has been sleeping, all the organs have been asleep, and so the water really jump starts things, and it gets your bowel also moving. I also want to encourage everyone to do a little research on the traditional Chinese medicine organ chart that distinguishes each organ and the time of day that they start working at. It's very important because when you understand what time each organ starts working at, then you know why you need to stop eating at about 6 p.m. to really optimize rest and repair for the digestive system and optimize digestion as well. So we want to start with fruit. And then we want to also ensure that we drink some kind of warm tea. Tea is something that there are certain nationalities that focus a lot on tea. Here I am in Jamaica, we drink a lot of tea. Tea is something we have in the morning. So we drink that glass of water with a lime juice or lemon juice, and then our next drink is some kind of hot tea, preferably with some kind of herb, whether it's mint tea or green tea or, some kind of bush tea, but gentle bush tea, nothing, no healing teas really, no bush tea, no, just nice, gentle, calming tea. Ginger tea is also very great. It speeds up digestion, brings everything into circulation quicker. So if you are wanting to lose weight, then a nice ginger tea in the morning is fantastic. And there are, lemongrass tea. If you're in other countries and you can get a chamomile tea, hibiscus tea, any of those kinds of teas are great. Orange peel makes a fantastic tea, or lemon peel. All of those citrus fruit peels make a great tea. If you don't want to spend a lot of time money buying tea, then you can save your orange peels and get certain leaves from the trees outside to make your tea. We do lime leaf tea here. We do soursop leaf tea. We do guava leaf tea. And all of those teas, by the way, have specific health benefits in terms of lowering your blood pressure, lowering your blood sugar, and so on. Cinnamon tea is also great. So definitely recommend a nice hot tea early in the morning, perhaps like 7, 8, 9. And of course, I'm going to lobby and advocate for tea over coffee. Coffee is a stimulant. I'm reading a lot of research recently that is saying that coffee is great. Jury's out on that. It's too much of a stimulant, I think. It spikes. It creates a lot of adrenaline rush. People feel like it wakes them up. But some of the research is showing that people may feel alert, but it is just overstimulating the adrenal glands too much. And so after extended coffee use, people sometimes tend to suffer from adrenal fatigue earlier than they should. A lot of people are also realizing that when they don't get to drink their coffee, they have headaches. And some people are even saying that they're feeling a little depressed if they don't get their coffee. In fact, I cannot speak to a coffee drinker and tell them to stop drinking coffee. That is non-negotiable. So I don't bother, right? But I recommend that you don't get hooked on coffee. It becomes like a drug, just like nicotine. Caffeine and nicotine are in the same category. Yes, there are going to be people who disagree with me, but I'm just telling you what I'm observing and, struggles that people have because they're hooked on caffeine and nicotine. Okay? We recommend a strong, large, hearty lunch meal at lunchtime when the sun is at its highest. That is also the time when your digestive process is at its peak and it's the most robust. So you want to eat at that time. We want to give ourselves a break after that and perhaps have a smoothie or a green juice later on in the afternoon, and maybe have your last meal at about 4:35, 5:36. But definitely we want to try to stay away from eating after 6 p.m. Now, I know there are a lot of cultures all over the world that eat, have dinner after 8 and after 9 and after 10, but we're just talking about the optimal times, because the same countries that have late meals may also be countries that are struggling with high rates of cancer, high rates of tumors, high rates of, all sorts of physical imbalances. So I'm just talking about the areas where we can optimize. All right. The next thing I want to recommend in terms of nutrition are teas that are mineral rich. A lot of the imbalances that people are having right now have to do with mineral deficiencies. When we were growing up in school, we were taught that it's vitamin A, B, C, D, calcium, magnesium, and so on. But now they're realizing that the trace elements, trace minerals, are key to optimal health and well-being, especially health and well-being as it relates to your central nervous system, your endocrine system, your hormonal system, and so on. So mineralization is key. When I encourage people to take herb teas, everybody starts to panic and everybody's like, okay, I don't know what quantities. Guess what, guys? Herbs are actually food. They're just dried foods. So do the research and have your teas. The universal measure for brewing tea is 1 teaspoon of dried herbs to 2 cups of water. Let me repeat that again. 1 teaspoon of dried herb to 2 cups of boiling water, and then you steep. What I like to recommend are synergistic blends, where you do your research and you get certain teas together. Here's this one. I have to throw this in. They say, and this is all traditional wisdom, that you're to make your teas, blend your teas in 3s, 5s, 7, 9, an odd number. So when you're combining herbs, you combine them in 3s. So you would go turmeric, ginger, and perhaps a little mint, or you'd go with cinnamon, ginger, and guava leaf, whatever it is, 3s or 5s or 7s or 9s. All right. Now, I want people to become more empowered around healthy eating. All right. Nobody asks how much Pepsi can I consume in a week, how much Coca-Cola can I consume in a week, how many chocolate chip cookies can I eat, do I have to limit myself to 4 slices of cheesecake? Nobody asks that. Yet there is so much fear around herbs, natural herbs that are created by the divine for us. Why is there so much fear around herbs? If people tell me that, oh, they heard that this herb is toxic and that herb is toxic. Yes, there are some herbs that are toxic, but do the research. When people are going to go and get their, their this surgery or their that surgery, they go and they do their research and they read up, right? To find the right surgeon, to find the right recovery situation, to hear, how many weeks it's going to take. So why can't we invest the time and the energy into finding out what the herbs are good for, how long you need to take them for, right? And which ones interact well with which ones, right? Which ones nourish the central nervous system, which ones are good for the womb, which ones are good for, your skin, your kidneys, which ones are good for detox, which ones are good for the lymphatic system. It is simple. Go to Google, type in herbs to cleanse the lymphatic system, herbs to boost your iron levels, herbs to boost your copper levels, herbs to boost your zinc levels. It is very, very simple. Once Google has told you the list of herbs, then you go to the store and you purchase it, right? You can spend the time and read on each herb, and you will see the ones that are toxic and the ones that are not so toxic. And then you, through trial and error, take the herbs and then see if they work with you or they don't. There's some herbs that everybody is raving about, and when I take them, they don't work with me. And then there's some herbs that I am raving about, and when other people take them, it doesn't work with them. And so there is, a system of trial and error. If you are really struggling, there are lots of people who are herbalists who have actually studied herbalism and are qualified to do blends, synergistic blends that can help you, right? But please, I'm encouraging everyone to take responsibility. Read, because you can read. Do the research. There are a gazillion YouTube videos on the different herbs. Here I am in Jamaica. Most Jamaican people know the herbs, but I am always quite surprised to come across someone with diabetes, for example, telling me that, oh, they didn't get to the hospital in time and their diabetes got out of control. And I'm saying to myself, but cinnamon, if you drink a cinnamon tea every day, it's going to be able to control your diabetes. If you have parsley juice, often it's going to control your diabetes. If you have licorice root, it controls your diabetes. If you have string beans, it can also control your diabetes. Then there's a host of other herbs that help to lower your blood sugar. So really and truly, nobody should be suffering in this day and age with all the technology that we have around and with all the sources of information that we have around. Nobody should be in health distress. So I encourage everyone, use technology to search for information, use technology to read on other people's experiences, use technology to teach yourself and empower yourself. We have outsourced our wellness, we've outsourced our health, and there's no need to. I remember I had to get sick before I took responsibility for my health. But I'm hoping that this message reaches you before you ever get sick so you can take responsibility for your health now. Also, I just want to throw this in. There's a lot of stuff happening all over the planet right now. They're talking about famine. They're talking about potential wars and so on. Financial crisis and so on. So you need to know what to do in the event that the systems are not as robust as they are in terms of your medical system, your hospital systems. We almost need to, get back to basics. You need to know which herbs will bring down a swelling if there is a swelling, which herbs are good for stings and bites. Yeah, in Jamaica when I was growing up, if we got bitten by a wasp, we would just run and get 3 different bushes, any leaves of 3 different plants, crush them in our hands and apply them to the sting. And that would definitely soothe the discomfort, and we would have you know, a much shorter experience of pain. So just simple little things like that, I think it's important for people to get up to date on, not just you, but start to teach your children, because we're having a little bit of a information loss right now, where my grandmothers knew every herb that you needed to take to keep well. One of my grandmothers used to be a midwife, and she used to deliver babies. And when women got into distress, there was no health center, there was no doctor. They would have to pick the herbs, boil them, and have the persons drink the herbs when the babies came out. And if there was any problems, there would be things that they would bathe the babies in. We need to get back to basics. We cannot allow ourselves to get sick and then we talk about insurance. I've lived my entire life without insurance. I only had insurance for about 6 years when I worked in a particular company and they had insurance. And when I left the company, I have no insurance now. But I don't worry about insurance. My job is to ensure that I never have to need insurance. And everybody has that capability as well. So I just want to encourage everyone to get back to basics, to use the internet and all the data that's available to you to do your research. It's a simple thing. Any kind of imbalance you have, you can type in natural remedy for whatever it is, or herbal remedy for, because there are lots of natural remedies right there in your kitchen that you can use. You can use onions, you can use garlic, you can use thyme, you can use apple cider vinegar, you can use a combination of salt and lime and coconut oil. There's so many things, natural remedies that are there. Our forefathers used them, and the robust populations we now have are testament to the fact that whatever they were using 200 years ago, 100 years ago, worked, because we're here. We, on the other hand, I question what's going to happen to the next generation, because we basically we're looking at a whole generation of very, very sick people, and you need to ask yourselves the question, why is an entire population of people, for example in North America, completely sick? Right? It's the processed food. So ladies and gentlemen, everybody who is watching this, let's cut out those sodas, let's cut out those cookies, let's cut out the extra bread, let's cut out, all those fancy meals with all those exotic blends. It's very hard for the body to digest. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple and you have nothing to worry about. Fruits, vegetables, hearty stews, nice salads. I don't want to tell people not to eat meat, because sometimes the body craves meat, but my recommendation is for you to be vegan, right? Because you want to make sure that you don't have dead, rotting flesh for your body to have to contend with. Remember, the more toxic your body is, the more difficult it is for you to bring in light, more difficult it is for you to connect with the divine. And people are going to say, nonsense. And I'm going to say, no, not nonsense. No, not nonsense. I'm going to leave it right there. I know many, 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 many religious people who are praying every day and they're having circulation problem, this problem, that problem. It's because of the food. You're not able to bring in the energy necessary to heal the body. So there is a connection. Okay? The healthier you eat, the cleaner you eat, and the less toxic your body is the greater your ability to tap in to the divine energy. Keep, open the third eye, have strong and effective meditation, and therefore strong and effective manifestation ability. Okay, so just encouraging everybody to become empowered around their food, become empowered around your health, Make it non-negotiable, the quality of your food, your sleep time, your exercise, non-negotiable. Circulation problems have to do with the fact that you're not moving around enough. You know, we go into our cars, we drive to work, we sit at a seat for 8 hours, we get back into the car, we come home, and we're sitting in front of the television. That's not how the human body was designed. We need exercise. The exercise is what gets the blood flowing. The exercise is what gets the oxygenation of the blood filling up the lungs as you run or you walk. And for those people that are walking in the morning, kudos to you. But you need to walk faster, because the true result of a good brisk exercise session is that you are sweating, because it is the sweating that is helping to detox the body. So if you walk and you don't sweat, it's still good, but it's better if you sweat. So pick up the speed, pick up the pace a little bit, and walk for a little bit longer, and get the sweat moving, get the kidneys cleaned out, right? One last hint. We have tended to stick with the stuff that we like the taste of. We like the taste of sugar, it's sweet. We like the taste of salt, yeah, and we kind of like the taste of sour, but we don't like the taste of bitter. Bitter is absolutely necessary, and sour is absolutely necessary. So you should be having one bitter thing per week. Okay, I'm going to go easy on everybody. You need to be eating something bitter every week, because it's the bitter herb or the bitter tea or the bitter spice that gets the liver activated, and most of those bitter herbs tend to serve to detox the liver. And once the liver is detoxed, then the liver will clean the body more efficiently. The liver will clean the blood more efficiently. So this is why in Jamaica they say, whenever you drink a bitter tea, you know, if you drink a bitter tea if your blood is sweet, right? Because it will cancel that, okay? Simple things like papaya leaf. You know, it's a little bitter, but it's excellent in so many ways. People are saying that papaya leaf and soursop leaf are good for people who are suffering, you know, with cancer. It's a good complementary tea to ingest if you are doing any kind of therapy, right? I've also heard of another a mushroom called turkey tail, and I've heard of a particular berry from Australia that is also good for cancer. Do your research on the natural remedies for cancer, or the natural herbs that are good for cancer. If you're having cancer, start to ingest those. If you have a family that has cancer, then you should also be ingesting those herbs to help your body, because the body has lots of cancer cells all the time. It's when it gets over a particular threshold that it actually starts to manifest as disease. So the key is to prevent cancer, to eat a balanced meal, more fruits and more vegetable, stop stressing, stop repressing all of the emotional traumas, you know, figure out a way to get some kind of release, do some therapy to release it, play sports to release it, watch a lot of comedy so that you can laugh, talk to family members and friends who are willing to listen, so that you are in a better position to integrate some of the trauma and release some of the trauma. Because traumas that are not properly processed, integrated, and released get stored in the body as illness. So stress is a huge part of why people are getting sicker and sicker. So just to go over, we need to stay away from the processed foods. We need to stay away from the stimulants, the nicotines and the caffeines. We need to stay away from the sugars as well, right? Take your sugars in the form of fruit. And we need to start to embrace more and more the natural herbal remedies and home remedies that are available to us to balance and manage scenarios rather than to wait until we are sick and have to be hospitalized or have to have a procedure. So my final words: take responsibility, become empowered around your health.